Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Nick Walsh, and right now I want to talk about Metroid. The new Metroid game comes out tomorrow, Metroid Returns Samus, and I want to make some predictions about it because I have a hunch that I might be right. So yeah, let's talk about it. So for those of you who don't know, Metroid, this is a remake of Metroid 2 for the Game Boy, and it is the last game on their list basically that needed a remake. It's very rough to play on the original Game Boy. They released it on Virtual Console for the 3DS and maybe the Wii U, and it's all right on that. It's definitely the better way to play the original game, but still, it's in black and white. It's tough to play. It's in the era where games needed to last a long time, so it's very difficult. That's fine. So they were remaking it similar to the style that they're remaking that they remade Metroid 1 with Metroid Zero Mission, and Metroid Zero Mission is a phenomenal game. And it was the last 2D game that we got from them. Now, recently, a fan finished remaking Metroid 2, as a fan project. It took him 7 years, I think, and he finished it. And then a day later, it got taken down by Nintendo because they were working on this and nobody knew. So that revitalized a ton of. A ton into the game, and that's an amazing game. AM2R it's called. So that comes out tomorrow. I'm super excited, so I want to make some predictions. I have not been spoiled a whole lot. I watched the E3 where they announced it, and that was awesome. And I watched the Treehouse where they showed a bunch of gameplay of it. So they showed 30 minutes, but in that, the only thing they spoiled was Aeon abilities. And I've seen a few of the trailers, and they've spoiled the Aeon abilities, but that's fine. Because my predictions aren't about the abilities. So the first prediction I want to make is what is going to be the extra stuff put in. They talked about putting in extra story. And they did that with if you look at Metroid Zero Mission, which I'm using as my base for all this analysis because that's a remake of an old game they did, that added some very light story elements. There was no talking or dialogue like in Metroid Fusion, but there was light story. There was some fluffy little stuff some nice cutscenes. They added they added a story boss and then an area that was all story driven, which is really nice because it explained a lot of the original Metroid. So that was good. And they also added 5 new bosses. So one of them being the extra story boss, which was nice. Apparently they've completely revamped the game, which is nice because Metroid 2 is kind of short, and it's it's pretty linear as far as Metroid games go. It's not that linear, but compared to other Metroid games, it's kind of just boop, 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 and you slowly just get deeper and deeper until you get to the last boss. And there's really only one boss in that game. I guess there's 2. There's, I'm not counting all the Metroids encounter because that technically there'd be 40. But because those are they're big enemies. At least, and I would say they're big enemies. Even when you get to the Omega Metroids, it's still the same. You're not trapped in a room or typical boss fashion. So the only 2 I would say are Arceus, I think his name is, the armadillo guy who absorbs one of the power-ups. I think it's Morph Ball. Or Spider Ball maybe. But anyways, and then the Queen. So they're definitely in it. They've showed the Arceus or I can't believe I forget his name right now. But they showed him, which is cool. But I expected him to be in it. And now I seen some concept art that they showed, and they mentioned a drill bot, which I think was a boss and not an enemy, but I'm not sure. It looked to be just an enemy to me, but who knows? And then I seen concept art for the queen. So the queen's in it for sure, but she has to be. So the real question is, are they gonna add anything after the queen? And because, like, I'm not sure how they could do that. When in the original game, when you kill a queen, the planet explodes. You gotta escape. So, but I guess in Metroid, no, the planet doesn't explode, but you still gotta escape. But in Metroid 1, that happens, and then in Zero Mission, they added stuff afterwards. Anyways, you're escaping, and then space pirates shot your ship down, and that was where they added stuff in. So are they going to do that? I don't think so. I think Queen's going to be the end. But I think they're going to add some story to tie it into Other M. Because or maybe not, because Other M comes after Super Metroid, and Super Metroid comes after this one that's coming out. So maybe not. So as far as story goes, I think there's going to be a light story like Zero Mission. Not as heavy as Fusion. Fusion wasn't a heavy story, but it had a lot more story than Zero Mission. Fusion had dialogue between characters. Samus talked to herself. She talked to Adam a lot and gave her backstory, and I think it was like the best example of giving Samus story and dialogue and I would love to see Fusion level of story, if not a little bit more even. I think she deserves a good story. And like she gets a story in Prime sort of, but it's mainly through interactions and reading. It's not really a story. I guess Metroid Prime 3 has a decent amount of story, but so yeah, I would love to see some form of story. I don't want them to shy away from it, but I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna go with Zero Mission style, lots of cutscenes and just like lore heavy stuff. That is like a lot of like, the statues in the background are explaining the story and stuff just by the fact that they're there, kind of thing. Maybe some nice cutscenes though, that'd be cool. So yeah, and then as far as extra stuff goes, I think they're gonna stick with the formula they have driven, because the Metroid games are all about keeping kind of the same, which is kind of lame, but it's a good thing, I guess. Like Metroid games always want to feel like a Metroid game. So I feel like they're going to add at least 5 new bosses and 1 new area, just from sheer examination of Zero Mission compared to Metroid 1. And looking at AM2R, the remake, it added an area and a half. Like it really overhauled the map hard. And it added, I believe, 3 new bosses. Maybe 2. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played that. But yeah, so I'm sticking with my guns the same. There's gonna be 5 new bosses and 1 new area, just like Zero Mission. It may not be like in a ham-fisted way where it's like, oh, this is clearly just like Metroid Zero Mission. I don't think it will be. I think it's gonna be a fantastic game. But and then my last prediction is length. These games are always pretty short. It's like usually like a 6 to 8 hour casually endeavor first time around, to get just naturally progress, even if you're not going hard looking for the all the collectibles. There's always a few collectibles that are really hard, so this isn't necessarily 100% run. But I'm gonna think that it's gonna be like 6 to 8 hours casually. I'd love for it to be longer. I hope it's longer. Because I don't really see why it shouldn't be longer. I think add a ton of areas in and make it a long game. I think they should be long. But that's like if you look at console games, they're like casually Metroid Prime 1, I'd say anywhere from 6 to 10 hours casually. And they get longer as like 2 is longer than 1 and 3 is longer than 2. So definitely think those, and 100%ing those, it's even longer. Now, I'm not including like speedrunners or diehard fans. Like, I mean, I can turn Metroid Prime on and beat it in like 3 or 4 hours without dying. But that's just because I've beaten that game like 30 times. So I think it should be longer, but I don't think it's going to be. I think 6 to 8 hours, 8 really pushing it casually. So yeah. So those are my predictions. I'm not making any predictions about like power-ups and anything because, well, I guess I will make a prediction. I don't think there's going to be anything new besides the everything that was in Metroid 2 and the Aeon abilities, which they've already talked about. I think there's like 4 Aeon abilities, which is fine and cool. I hope you don't start with the Aeon abilities and you unlock them later on, personally, but that's usually don't. It's whatever. I don't think they're going to add a new suit. I don't think they're going to add anything fancy like that. It'd be cool if they added a new suit, but I don't see why they would. And so, yeah, and I don't think they're going to add any new guns or anything like that. So, yeah, that's my predictions. I hope I'm wrong on all of them, and I get them blown away. Either way, it's going to be a fantastic game. I'm just ecstatic to play as a Metroid game as Samus. Looking at you, fucking, whatever it was called. See, I've blocked it out completely. I played it, disclaimer. Federation Force. I played it twice, just because I wanted Metroid. It's not even that good. But anyways, yeah. So, yeah. Alright, that's my predictions. Oh, final thing. I'm curious to see if you need the amiibos to 100% the game. Because if you do, that's shitty. I don't think that's the case, though. I'm getting the amiibos anyways, to test this theory. I'm gonna. Oh shit! That means I won't be able to use them. Oh well. Anyways, yeah. So we'll see if you need the amiibos to 100% it, because I want 100% the game this weekend if I can, and I might write a walkthrough on it when I'm done. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you like these predictions, and stay tuned for a couple days. As soon as I beat the game, I'm gonna start recording a video. So, yeah. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm gonna be talking about the game on Twitter, and so potential spoilers. But I love Metroid, so I'm gonna be like going through and through. I won't be playing it till tomorrow evening because I work all day, but that's okay. I'll stay away from spoilers all day. So thanks for tuning in again. You should watch my other videos if you want. They're about my game that I'm making. And I also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I post game art, and I talk about the game I'm making. So yeah, thanks very much. See you guys around.